All right, what's happening, everybody? It's your man, it's Ken Jackson. It's the Ken Jackson Experience. This is a special broadcast tonight because we gotta talk about this shit again. Hold on, let me get my monitoring set up here because I was sitting here today and I was just taken aback by what's going on in D.C. The Democrats have caved, as you all know. Uh, they've given in to the Republicans without getting any concessions on health care at all. Nothing. Just an empty promise and a handshake, basically. Uh, and as we know from history, Republicans never keep their word. They never follow through on anything that they agree to without it being signed, sealed, and delivered and stamped. And you know what I'm saying? So it's not happening. They're talking about they promise that they're going to negotiate for what the Democrats are asking for in December or some shit. And then and then too, what they agreed to was just basically to kick the can down the road. A short-term funding bill, which is what we've been operating on now for several years now. Short-term funding bills. Let's just kick the can down the road, a few more weeks, a few more months, or whatever. Still, with no budget plan at all. Now, imagine if you operated your life like that. Imagine if you operated your household like that with no budget, no planning. You're just going to spend money like crazy. You don't care where it goes or how it goes, and every month you come up short, and you tell yourself, you know what, I'm really going to set a budget. I'm going to make a budget. I'm going to get this spending down and get these debts under control. And the next month you do the same fucking thing. Just spend. No planning, no nothing. And you keep getting deeper and deeper into debt. And then what? File for bankruptcy. Your credit's all fucked up. Blase, blah. You know the story. But here we are, the United States government has zero budget. In fact, hold on, let me ask Google here. Hey Google, let's see. Watch this. Hey Google, when was the last time the United States had an actual budget in place? Let's see what
The
Google.
last time the United States Congress passed or required spending bills, a full budget on time, before the start of the fiscal year on October 1st, was in 1997 for fiscal year 1998. Since then, Congress has typically funded the government through stopgap measures called continuing resolutions, or combined multiple bills into large omnibus packages, often after the deadline.
1997. 1990 fucking 7. That's the last time we had an actual budget. Oh my god. Seriously. I thought it was going to say like, 2000 something. No, 1997. That's almost 30 fucking years ago. 30 years ago that this country had its last actual budget bill in place. And since then, they've been doing, like they said, stopgap measures, kicking the can down the road, and really not having any sort of resolution on how the country's going to spend and manage and spend its money. And now it's totally out of control because Congress, the Republican Congress, is giving up all power to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, he has no budget. The only budget he has is how much money can he stuff in his pockets and in his bank accounts before the jig is up. And he's ruined the country already. I'm not even gonna say he's gonna ruin the country. The country is ruined. It's gonna take us 50 years to fix the bullshit that Donald Trump has done. Think about it. Think about that. But that's what you get when you elect a criminal to office. This is what happens when you have a 34-time convicted felon, a 34 count convicted felon, a 5-time draft dodging coward, okay? An adjudicated sexual predator, a rapist, pretty much. This is what you get when you have a professional con man running the government. We have a criminal in the White House, bona fide. And y'all voted for this shit. Y'all voted for this motherfucker. And now, as he leads this country to damnation, y'all are sitting back and acting like it's not happening. It's like every time I hear him speak, I have to wonder. I said, do these people hear the same thing I hear? Because I hear an idiot. I hear a motherfucker who's way in over his head, who has no fucking idea what he's doing in terms of governance. He hasn't legislated anything since he's been in office. It's been all executive orders. And remember, he used to talk shit about Obama and Biden when they would use executive orders, to get shit done. Donald Trump is the king of executive orders. Most of them illegal. Most of them make no fucking sense at all. But here he is doing exactly what he said should be criminal. Actually, he wants to arrest Obama and Biden because he felt like they pretty much ran the government, in a criminalistic way. Nah, Mr. Trump. Listen, I don't know when and where you fell down and bumped your motherfucking head, but you need to bump it again. You need to bump it on the same thing you bumped it on the first time, and maybe that'll get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand how people can continue to follow this clown, and they just and they defend him. They still try to make it seem as though he's the best thing since spilt milk. He's bigger than Jesus returning. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we're in trouble, y'all. We really are. And what's sad, I knew this shit was gonna happen. I used to tell motherfuckers all the time, if Donald Trump gets back into office, it's a wrap for America. We're done. And people used to say, Ken, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Why are you such an alarmist? And here we are. Here we are. America is going down the fucking shitter. Fast. We're spinning fast, y'all. Remember, I know a lot of you youngsters won't remember, but when I was a kid, there used to be this TV commercial, the Tidy Bowl man. He'd be in your fucking toilet in a fucking rowboat and shit. And it flush his ass down the drain. That's where America's going now. Donald Trump is the fucking Tidy Bowl man. And we need to flush his ass. 86-47 in 2028. But it's not going to happen. He ain't going nowhere. He's not. I'm trying to tell y'all, we're going to have to evict his ass. He's going to have to be thrown out of the White House in 2028. I guarantee it. Mark my word today. What's today's date? What the fuck is today? November 11th, 2025. Write it down. Ken said in 2028, Donald Trump is going to try to stay in office, and he doesn't care if it's going to be legal or illegal or what have you. You know, he's not going anywhere until we kick his ass out. It's going to come down to a military option. It's gonna take a military solution. I believe that. And unfortunately, I think a lot of American people are going to get hurt. You know, I hope not, but I don't see any other way. There's no legislative power right now to check him. Congress is fully compromised, fully. The Supreme Court is fully compromised. So what do you do? I actually put it out there a few days back. Somebody commented, "Oh, we vote. That's how we get rid of assholes." No, not anymore. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it should be, but that's not what it is now. We have a full-fledged authoritarian in the White House, and he's doing everything he can to stay there. And unless something drastic happens between now and then, a miracle. I'm not a religious guy, but I'm praying for a fucking miracle that this clown somehow or another gets put out of office. 25th Amendment, impeachment. You know, I'm not going to say anything else like what I would really like to say because I don't want that bad karma coming back on me. But he has to go. We got to get rid of him somehow. So mark my word, today, November 11, 2025, I said it. 2028, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem. You think January 6th before was something, wait till this next time around. Because 2026 is out the window too. The midterm elections, out the window. Out the fucking window. Republicans have redrawn maps all across the country. The fix is in. The fix is in. Now, it still could turn around. I mean, something could happen and the Democrats could, rig it better than what Trump is trying to rig it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's going to take. See, here's what's wrong with the Democratic Party. They don't know how to play dirty. See, Republicans been playing this dirty long game for a couple of decades now. You know what I'm saying? They've been planning this and working this plan for probably 20 years. And they've executed well. I give them a lot of credit. They executed their takeover plan almost flawlessly. Almost flawlessly, I say, because I think the mistake was them choosing Donald Trump as their Lord and Savior. That was their mistake. If they would have chose someone else, because the people around Trump are far more dangerous. Motherfuckers like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is far more dangerous than Donald Trump is. Think about it. Marco Rubio is far more dangerous than Donald Trump is because they're smarter than Donald Trump. They're just sitting back, letting Trump, destroy himself, basically. And then when it's time, one of these motherfuckers is going to step up and either of them could probably be the worst dictator in the history of the world. Could you imagine somebody like Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance, having the keys to the White House, having all the fucking keys and the security codes, and could you imagine? Think about it. And Trump has surrounded himself with all of these motherfuckers who used to hate his ass. They talk so much shit about him on the campaign trail prior to the campaigns, and now they're like his top advisors. Think about that. He's brought his biggest and worst enemies into his inner circle. What's it? The 48 Laws of Power. I think there's a section in there about that. About keeping your enemies, close. Because believe it or not, your enemies are gonna be your most loyal followers. They are, because they're gonna use you to achieve all of their objectives, and then once all of those objectives are achieved, then they're going to step in and knock you off and take over. That's what your enemies are doing. The ones that you can truly trust, see, they're doing their jobs the right way, and they're not paying attention so much. They're just going along and trusting your word. So Donald Trump probably ain't as dumb as we think he is. He does keep his enemies close. He may have a plan for them, as far as anyone may or may not know. Look, the man has gotten away with it for this long. As I would say, he's next to Bernie Madoff. He's the number one grifter in America, the number one con man. Excuse me. So, but y'all got to start paying attention in the Democratic Party, because you motherfuckers are soft, man. Y'all, I don't know what's wrong. Well, yeah, I do. I know exactly what's wrong. Democratic Party got all these old motherfuckers that need to step aside and let some of these young progressives start running things. They need to let these young progressives take the wheel and drive the car. God damn it, And I include myself in that, because I'm an old motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, but guess what? I'm not standing in the way of any of you youngsters. I'd love for you to take the wheel. You know what I'm saying? I damn sure don't want Jesus to take the wheel, because obviously this motherfucker can't drive either. No disrespect to all you Jesus lovers, but, I'm not one. So I'm just being real, But black folks been praying for Jesus to come save them for what, 400 years? That motherfucker ain't coming. He ain't coming. He's not coming. So knock it off. Get your fucking head out that Bible and look at the big picture, because unless we start, exercising some of that free will that your God gave us, y'all motherfuckers are going to still be in the same ditch you've been in for the last 400 years. Look, I know some of y'all don't like that. Don't like how I said it. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. You dumbasses been following the bullshit. Religion and politics are two biggest fucking cons in human history. Think about that. More people have been killed over religion and politics than anything else. Not even the most contagious plagues and diseases have killed as many people as God and political leaders. That's real. And I don't know why people keep buying into it. I just don't understand it. Bear with me. I know I'm a little all over the place tonight because this one wasn't a scheduled broadcast. I just, you know, decided to come on and talk some shit. But anyway, here we are. We got what we got. So I'm gonna check out Twitter here. It says Occupy Democrats on X breaking victory. Donald Trump throws in the towel as plans leak for his top Border Patrol enforcer, Greg Bovino, and many of his agents to retreat from the Chicago area. The public backlash has worn them down. CBS News spoke to 3 U.S. officials who revealed the plans for withdrawal. Bovino and his green-clad Border Patrol fascists, because that's what they are, the Gestapo, could vacate as soon as the end of this week. That'd be awesome. Get the fuck out of Chicago, man. Get the hell out. You know, it's crazy that Trump has been able to get away with this bullshit for so long. It's illegal to deploy U.S. troops on American soil. Our troops are not law enforcement officers. They're not trained for that. They're trained to go across that water and kill the enemy, which at this point, I'm sure we got a lot more new enemies that we haven't seen yet that are just waiting for the opportunity. And some of the old enemies are coming back, I heard. And Donald Trump's going to make it easy for them to fuck us up. Excuse my French. I'm a sailor, y'all. I cuss. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. This is me. Take it or leave it. But anyhow, yeah, Donald, you know what? I'm sick of it. No more Donald Trump. No more talking about Trump's ass tonight, all right? Because there has to be better things in the news that's going on. And that's one of the things that we were talking about earlier today, that, you know, the news is just always full of negative and warfare and crime, and it's just crazy. Why are we humans, you know, so addicted to negativity? Why is that? You ever wonder? In entertainment, the highest rated shows are ones that have the most violence going on. The police shows, and you know, the highest rated news shows are the ones that's always showing all the ridiculous bullshit going on in the world. But like Venezuela, you know, they're announcing a massive military mobilization. They're getting ready to try to defend themselves against us, and I gotta say this. All right, no disrespect to Venezuela, but if the U.S. military attacks y'all can forget about it. Forget about it. It's a wrap. You won't have a chance. And it's sad. It's sad because Donald Trump knows this. And I just get done saying I wasn't going to talk about Trump anymore. All right, I apologize. I'm sorry. But see, that's the thing. The news, it's nothing but negative shit. Warfare, drug trafficking, pestilence, people starving, people, you know, suffering. Why are humans so addicted to that shit? Why does that have to be the most popular shit on TV? You know, and it wasn't always like that. It really wasn't. It was a lot different, you know, when I was a kid, and there was a lot of shit going on. I'm a child of the civil rights era. You know what I'm saying? I was born in you know, when they was out here marching and rioting, and and really tearing shit up, in a major way. We're back at a time when you probably needed, the National Guard to be out in these streets because it was crazy back in the mid to late 60s, early 70s. These little protests they do now, restricted to like a city block and shit, and Trump's trying to tell everybody, oh, the city's burning down. No, it's not. It's one little block, where they're cutting the fuck up. But in any case, yeah, I mean, this whole history of this country's been wild when you think about it. I guess that's probably why American culture and society is so addicted to violence. I was out at the fucking beach a few days ago. Florida has just recently passed open carry. You know what I'm saying? So just like I thought, people's gonna take that shit too far. Motherfuckers all up and down the beach with pistols on their hip. You're at the fucking beach. You're at the beach. There's children out here playing in the sand, and y'all idiots walking around here with guns on your hip, in your fucking bathing suits and shit, looking stupid as hell. What are you gonna do? Get in the shootout on the beach? I stopped one guy. I said, "Damn, dude." I said, that's a big ass gun you got hanging there. He said, "Oh, you never know. It's dangerous out here." Really? Really? Listen, I've been living here in Fort Pierce since 1994. Ain't nothing ever happened down at the beach that required you needing a gun. Never. Excuse me. It's never happened. Excuse me. Oh, man. But now, because Florida says, hey, you can carry your gun openly now. All of these motherfuckers out here walking around like it's the wild, wild west. It's crazy. And it's just a matter of time before some idiot, probably a couple of YNs or whatever, going to get out here on the beach where all you should have is a fucking beach blanket and maybe some fishing poles, and they're going to be out here shooting, running gunfights up and down the sand. That's where it's headed. We need gun control. I'm all for gun control. I'm all for background checks. I'm all for people that have previous mental health issues not being given the right to carry a firearm in public because of their mental health. I think everybody should go through intensive training, safety training, training about the legal aspects in regards to carrying a weapon, before they're allowed to actually purchase one. Yeah, we got the right to bear arms, absolutely. I am not against anybody bearing arms whatsoever, but not just anybody. It's some of y'all out there that have no business with a gun. That's real. And I don't care in that respect. I don't care what the Second Amendment says. Some of these motherfuckers don't need to have a gun. You're not going to give a gun to your damn 10-year-old and say, hey, go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just don't shoot anybody. Nah, fuck that. There's some grown folks that don't have the sense of a 10-year-old. Probably a lot of 10-year-olds got more sense than most of these grown folks out here, believe it or not. And that's scary. But anyway, that's that. Ghislaine Maxwell. Check this out. This chick is asking to have her sentence commuted. Really? Really? And you know what's sad? That guy up there in DC just might do it. He claims he hadn't heard anything about it. Knock it off, man. We know all you do is sit there and watch TV all fucking day. You watch all the news channels, Democrat or liberal and conservative. You know, we know you do. That's what you do. But you and MAGA Mike, I hadn't heard of that. I don't know anything about that. That's their excuse for everything, ain't it? See, this is what I'm talking about. It is so screwed up in our society that everything's affected by the politics. The political environment is just out of control now, you know. And hold on, I know I keep messing with the microphone too. I'm OCD like that because I'm looking at myself in the screen and it looks crooked to me, and I don't like shit to be crooked. It throws off my feng shui. But anyway, this is the Ken Jackson Experience here on YouTube, Crazy Baby TV World. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Because most of the time I'm not talking shit, you know. So, every now and then I actually have some real content, you know, to bring to the forefront. But, you know, as I said earlier, tonight I was just bored. It's cold here in South Florida. I am freezing. Yeah, no, it's not like, you know, North Dakota or Michigan cold. You know, it's not Chicago cold. It's Florida cold. But I've been in Florida, you know, like since 1994. I'm cold. My blood is thin. Plus, I take actual blood thinners to keep my heart ticking. So I'm cold, y'all. So laugh at me if you want. You know, it's all good. I embrace my elderly ailments. Today was a good day though. It's Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there. I hope you enjoyed your day. Hope you went out and got all your free meals that were available. I actually went to Denny's for breakfast, you know, and got me my Veterans Day Grand Slam. And no, it's not gourmet. It's cheap as fuck. But you know what? That's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted, and that's what I got. It was free. And then later, me and my daughter, we went to Golden Corral and got our free Veterans Day buffet. And we enjoyed the fuck out of ourselves. We surely did. And we sat there and ate until our stomachs got tight. And that was it. I spent a little time with the grandbabies, you know, and rocked my granddaughter to sleep, you know, and I was supposed to go back, but I wasn't feeling well. I'm coming down with something. My throat is on fire right now. It really is. I don't know if you can tell. And my nose is, my sinuses are all screwed up. But I'm trying to fight it. Been loading up on vitamin C, you know, and which I shouldn't be drinking all that fruit juice and shit because it's high in sugar. But, you know, I hadn't done this shit in years, so I said, you know what, I'm going to drink me some apple juice and some cranberry juice and orange. You know what I'm saying? I got to load up. And so that's what I did today. And it didn't help. I still feel like shit. I should have actually went and got me like some NyQuil or something to help me sleep tonight because I'm probably going to be tossing and turning all night, which is normal now. I don't know if that's because I'm 60 or because there's something really wrong with me. You know what I mean? So But I'm not gonna dwell on that. I'm just gonna embrace the moment, as it comes to me, and just make it do what it do. See, that's for me. That's the key to life now. Just enjoying every moment, no matter what, no matter what's going on. Because sometimes, you know, shit's just so fucked up. You just gotta laugh it off, and take it with a grain of salt and keep on pushing. Um, One of the things my doctors and nurses always tell me when I go down to the VA, they're like, "Oh, Mr. Jackson, you're always in such a good mood." I'm like, why not? It takes too much energy to be in a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? It takes way too much energy to walk around pissed off and mad all the time. I got some friends that are like that, mad about everything. I'm like, what the fuck is the problem? Just knock it off. Chill. Relax. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? It really isn't. I don't care what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you're just having a hard ass time, don't just stand there and complain about it all the time. Do something. Work the fucking problem. And to me, it seems so simple. I guess because I've been disciplined like that over the years, to just not let myself get caught up like that. You know what I mean? And and that's not to say my life is perfect, because it's far from that. You know, and I'm definitely not better than anyone else out there, but I do believe I'm better at handling certain bullshit, than most people. Most people live in their emotions, man. I don't get all emotional about shit. And I will fool your ass, because let me tell you something. Uh, you know, I I will I'll give you what you give me, basically. If you want to argue, I'll argue. I can argue with the best of them. I mean, it's entertainment for me. Don't ever think that you can get under my skin, because you can't. You will never get under my skin like that and bring me out of character. If it looks like I'm coming out of character, it's because that's all it is an act. It's a character. You know what I'm saying? I will give you what you're asking me for, and then I'll come home and I'll lay down and go to sleep and sleep just fine. You know what I mean? It's like, it's never that serious for me. You know, I will debate you. I will argue with you, you know, for no reason. Just because, because some people I found can't function unless they're arguing with somebody, or unless they're, having some sort of heated debate back and forth. I'll give you that. Like I said, it's entertainment for me. You know what I'm saying? This is never that serious, though. I don't hold grudges. So if there's anybody out there that thinks that Ken don't like them, you're wrong. I'm not that. I'm not that type of guy. You know, it's I'm at a point in my life, and I have been for a lot of years actually, where I know I can't control anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I can't control what anybody does or what anybody says, but I can control how I respond to anything and everything. And I'm in total control of myself and my emotions, and my attitudes. Sometimes people think I'm mad as hell. I'm never mad. I'm never. But I'll let you think that I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I can be a mad motherfucker on the outside. I'll be giggling my ass off on the inside, because I'm looking at you and and thinking, look at this motherfucker here, thinking they got me all upset. And I'll let you have that because I know it makes you feel good inside. You know what I mean? There's some people like that out there. For some reason, they feel good if they think they, can get you all, discombobulated and shit and acting stupid. And I can be the stupidest motherfucker in the room. And it's crazy. When I was younger, I wasn't that guy. I was shy as fuck, would barely speak to anybody, except people that I really knew. Like my circle of friends were real small, other neighborhood kids. You know, um, I was that quiet kid. I was that one that never got in trouble. I wasn't about to fucking do dumb shit, because I was scared of everything. You know what I mean? That was me. Oh, hell nah. Ken ain't doing that. Fuck that. My dad will skin me. My mom ain't trying to hear that bullshit. So I wasn't doing it. Peer pressure didn't exist for me. It was mom and pop's pressure. You know what I mean? So, and I was quiet, shy as fuck, couldn't talk to girls. I had absolutely no game for girls when I was a teenager. None. You know what I mean? So, I had no swag at all. I don't have any swag now. I'm just me. But I'm way different now because now I'm way more outspoken and bold. And, some people don't know how to take me nowadays. Um, they think, damn, Ken, you have to say it like that. Yeah. What other way to say it? Just say what it is. You know what I mean? No beating around the bush, none of that bullshit. And it's crazy how we change. I guess our environments shape us. All of our experiences that we go through in life shapes us into, who we become later. You know what I mean? That's very true. You know, um, Almost 10 years in the military completely changed me. You know what I'm saying? Um, and 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 then being able to travel around the world and experience so many different cultures and meeting so many different people. All of that shaped my personality and who I am now. And probably the best thing I did right after high school was joining the military and getting the fuck out of Plainfield, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And I say when I got out, I got all the way out. I didn't go back home for 10 years. I never took leave to go back. I stayed my entire 2 tours of duty out the country. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I came back, though, I was back. I never left again. So now I'm here. Been in Florida, as I said earlier, since 1994. But I've been all across this country. You know, um, Lived in North Dakota for a while. Lived in California for a while. Actually, California is my birthplace. Ventura County, Oxnard. You know what I'm saying? Um, but grew up in Jersey. Where else have I lived? I lived in Virginia. I lived in Washington, D.C. Obviously, Japan. I lived in Japan. I was in Japan for like 5 years. Lived in Hawaii. I really enjoyed Hawaii. Hawaii was dope. Ooh, excuse me. And But like I said, I've been all around the world. Been to all 50 states multiple times. Um, was in the music business most of my adult life. Was in the trucking and logistics industry for a few years. So not only have I flown all around the world and all across the country, I've driven to all. I've driven in all the lower 48 states and Hawaii. Only state I haven't driven in is Alaska. But I've been to Alaska. Never drove a vehicle in Alaska though. Oh man. But anyhow, you know what? I need to take my ass to bed because the old man needs some sleep, and I'm just on here having some fun tonight, bugging out, talking shit, because that's what I do. I don't sell shit, but I talk shit. You know what I mean? So get at me. Subscribe to the channel. Oh, check me out on YouTube too. Crazy Baby TV World. That's where you'll find me across all platforms. All right. Ken Jackson Experience. Subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Won't cost you a dime. I don't sell merchandise. I don't push products or nothing like that. So come at me, come with me through these experiences in life. I got a lot to share, y'all. I got a lot to share. My nonprofit has finally come together. Young Fathers Empowerment Group, which I'll be launching officially here in a few weeks. Real quick, because I used to do some work for a mentoring group here in Fort Pierce, and I really enjoyed that because we were helping these young boys, these gangbangers, get off the streets. And then later after I left there, and I thought about getting back into that field, and I said, well, why don't I just start my own thing? Because a lot of these young boys are fathers. They got kids, they got baby mamas, and but they don't know how to be fathers, and they don't know how to raise these children that they're creating. So that's the purpose of the group that I put together, the company that I'm building right now. So I'll tell you all more about it, once it all comes online. But it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing because we really, really need to do something to help these young men, these young boys, actually. We're going to help them become men, help them be better fathers, because that's where our community is failing right now. We've been failing the children for way too long, and it's time that we try to, course correct. All right, y'all. I'm out. I know y'all don't want to hear my bullshit anymore. It's okay. I love y'all. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. Unscheduled broadcast, because I can do that. You know why? Because it's my channel. It's my platform. I can do this. You know what I mean? Help me out, though. As I said, subscribe, follow, and let's take this journey together. I am out.